I will share with you an incident that happened with an ancient king. His name is Janaka. This was thousands of years back in what is called Treta Yuga, the period of time which is probably 10,000 years old. And at that time, King Janaka, who was ruling a big kingdom, leading a very pious and a very beautiful life, one day he goes into the sleep and then he suddenly wakes up. He suddenly wakes up from the sleep and then he starts shouting, "Is this the truth or is that the truth? Is this the truth or is that the truth?" And then, of course, the queen wakes up with him and she tries to console him, persuade him, but no response. He keeps asking the same question, "Is this real or is that real?" So the queen obviously gets very worried and she calls in all the people in the palace, and they also invite a spiritual teacher, master, guru. I think it is Vasishta Muni, sage Vasishta, who was invited to come down to take a look at the state of the King Janaka. And of course, being a spiritually elevated soul, the sage looks at Janaka and understands his plight. And he realizes that king just had a nightmare. And in that nightmare, King Janaka, who was a king, suddenly becomes a pauper and is roaming in the streets of the kingdom. There is no food to eat. And at that time, while he's begging for food, somebody gives him some food and he's about to take that food, and then there is this crow that comes and just hits the food away and takes that food away from his hands, and of course the food spills down and he starts crying in hunger, in poverty. And from that state, he gets out of that dream, gets out of that sleep, and then starts worrying that he has lost everything. And that is why he's asking, is this real or is that real? Because that reality he experienced in that dream was so profound that he thought that was real. And then he's looking, of course, here, the palace, the queen, and he's seeing this as a reality too. So he's confused. What is reality here? Is that real or is this real? And the sage, of course, tries to persuade him, and he gives him a very simple but yet powerful answer. He says, that is not real, this is not real, but you are real. Now, who is that you? Is that this physical body? Is this mind which is filled with thoughts and emotions? Or is there something else? Now, let's pause there for a second and rewind back. Remember, we were talking about the person who is experiencing all these states. That observer, that person, that being that is experiencing the state of awaken, that is experiencing the dream state, and that is experiencing the deep sleep state, that is the real you. So please understand that the experiencer, the person who is experiencing, is different from all these experiences. So our life is nothing but a bundle of experiences. An experience called dream, an experience called awake state, an experience called deep sleep. Now, how do you catch that observer? Of course, that is where the beautiful ancient Sookshma meditation comes into the picture. Sookshma is a way of helping us clear these layers of cloud, clear these clutters that have accumulated and conditioned us over a period of time, to make us believe that this is the reality or that is the reality. Whereas just now we realize that both are not the reality. Both are just passing clouds. Both are passing phases in your life. And unfortunately, what we do is we get stuck to these experiences, to these material objects, to this flesh and blood, and we think that this is real. And we go through pain, suffering, trauma in this life. So the root cause of most of the suffering that we go through in this life is lack of understanding of the reality, lack of understanding of ourselves, lack of understanding of these different states of our existence.